Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to choose the right or a good template for your black and white photos. All right, what we're going to do is we'll go through some of those to where I'll show you what images will be good for black and whites and what images would look better in color. All right, let's dive right in. All right, guys, and by the way, hello everyone from Rochester to France. Glad to see you guys here. All right, so here we are. Let's start with a good one first. Let's start with this gorilla. Now, guys, pay close attention what I'm showing you and tell me, other than Russell, tell me what you're noticing. Ready? I'm going to click on templates and I'm going to choose, or I'm going to let Luminar choose which template is best for me, all right? Or what's best for this image. So let's go through. First of all, already I picked this one here. Now I'm going to look down. Ooh, I like this black and white. Look at that. One click, that looks great. We can further enhance this. So we don't have to stop right here. We can take it another step further, all right? But let's continue with the templates. Animals and friends. Ooh, this one's gonna look, oh, I like that. That one's gonna look really good. Good, so right there, already, it picked out two of them. And here's another one. Let's see if there's a black and white. Yep, there's a black and white. It's thinking, Still thinking. Ooh, that looks, I like that. So far, I would say that's one of my favorite ones. So let's mark it as favorite. All right. And that's about it. All right. So this photo of the gorilla, obviously, the templates chose a great image, or they chose great templates for this photo to apply to this gorilla. This one here so far is my favorite, and we can come over to the Edit tab and continue with our editing. But before I do, I want to scroll down here, and I want to check out the monochrome. From here, oh God, you people are killing me. All right, I'm going to click on these and just go through which one I like. Good. Give it a second to catch up. Nice. Low key. Oh, I knew low key would look good. And keep in mind, I could always come back over here and fade it back just a little bit to introduce some more color to it. But look what I did to the gorilla. All right. So first rule is when we're choosing, make sure we pick an image that'll look good in black and white. Let's use this image here. All right. Now, with this image here, we've already edited this. We added the birds, did some really cool stuff. We did this with another tutorial. So I'm going to skip right over to the edit menu or panel rather. And what I want to do is I'm going to go right to the black and white tool. Now, we could just start in the edit panel, or the edit, with the edit panel, and just start adding these tools on our own. But why not let Luminar AI give us suggestions and help spark that creativity with us? So for this image here, we've already edited it, but let's see what it would look like in black and white. Give it a couple seconds, and it looks okay. The reason why it just looks okay and there's nothing like spectacular to it is there's not enough contrast. So there's not enough contrast in this image to make it look wow. So this wouldn't be a good image for black and white. So back to the history. And I'm going to come back here. And let's go back to catalog. Let's use the football player. Look at the contrast we have with them. Lots of contrast. So if I go to the templates, We can let it suggest some of the templates. In fact, you know what? Let's look through here. Good. Wolfgang asked, let me pull it up real quick. Are the birds real or Luminar added? And thank you so much. So you know what that's telling me? Is I did a pretty good job at blending them in, so you couldn't tell they were added in Luminar. But here's what you need to do is, if you add those birds and somebody asks you that question, what you need to do is tell them that you, oh, how do we put this? You had your assistant or you had another photographer off to the side and you told them to cue the birds and they ran and got the birds going, got them all up in the air, and that's when you took the photo and they were all excited and that's how you got the shot. So thank you, Wolfgang, for that one. All right, one moment. Let me pull this up. All right, guys, I was trying to, and let me just do this here real quick. I was trying, let me see if I can get it back for you. Or am I right? Nope, wrong one. Here I am. You'll see in a moment what I was doing for you guys. And I was going to bring it back up. Yeah, so switching back and forth. Here we go. Let me kill this. Yeah, NDI decided not to play nice with the switch. So let me come back and pull it back up. And this will take just a second. And as soon as it relaunches for me, I'll be able to show it again. So again, Pat did ask a question. Can we just boost the contrast? I tried that. It just looked okay. When you're forcing it, there just wasn't enough in it. There wasn't enough blacks and there wasn't enough whites to it. The football player that I'm about to show you definitely has lots of contrast. So the football player is definitely going to give us the contrast that we're looking for. All right? And by the way, if you like these episodes, please give it a thumbs up and hit that like button. All right, so I'm relaunching. Let me pull it up here. Give it a second to pull up. Yeah, notice down here you see that flickering. That's telling me the NDI is not playing nice with the Mac I have off to the side, so I apologize. All right, so here we are with a template. I'm going to come over here, and you know what? Let's just start right at the bottom. And I'm going to pick some of my favorite ones. Here's Iconic. Look at that. So that came out really good. Black tails. Let's see what that does. Not as well. Only exceptions, okay. Soulful and Iconic are usually my go-to. Black and white filters that I wanted to apply. Let me pull that back up again. I apologize. Yeah, if you notice NDI, we have a complicated system set up here, and NDI is, for whatever reason, being a little pain in the neck, but we'll get it back up. All right. Here's a good time to ask other questions. Good. Here, let me pull it here. All right, so here we are again. And again, like I said, that one was just okay. All right. But like I said, I prefer, come down here. Soulful. That's going to look really good. Hello from Will Chaplin from Australia. But look at that. Look how rich that looks. Because there's a lot of texture, or I'm sorry, there's a lot of contrast, that's why it's looking this good. Let me go back to my catalog. And black and white. All right, let's use this one right here. And Pat, this is going to help you understand more about the contrast. I absolutely love and adore this photo. Let's see what we can do with it. All right, a couple things already. His hair is definitely blown out. We'll address that issue in a moment. So we have a choice to make. we can either go in and manually make all these changes, or we can, again, let Luminar help us and let it decide what template looks good for this. And sure enough, I knew it, Soulful will be the one. Now, I love this. However, look at, because he's wearing a blue suit, right? The contrast is there, but not enough. So this is where, yes, for this particular image, Pat, we can add more contrast. So we'll come over here. Let's start with the light tool, and we'll use smart contrast and see what that does for us. Ooh, already it's looking better. Let's come down here and enrich the blacks. Good. There we go. Now, most importantly, I want to come way down here and go to super contrast. So, this super contrast is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. Let's balance it. I'm going to bring it in. Look at that. Good. And I'm going to come back to this in a moment. But let's look at it real quick before. After Julie said contrast is the light and dark colors in the photos. Good. Well, yes. Well, that's where they're butting up against each other. So where they're butting up against each other. Now let's come back over, and I have that looking good. But I want to come over to color. Ready for this? We're going to bring this way back. Look at that. I brought back some of that detail in his hair. Now I'm kind of stuck with a couple problems. Face looks a little bit dark. No problem. So think, what can we do to make the face brighter? Well, if we come over here to the portrait tool, let's relight the face. There we go. Nice, much better. Let's add some texture to this. So I shouldn't say texture. Let's add more details, what I should say. Black and white screams for detail. There we go. Look at this. Before, after. Give it a second. Good. Now, if I use Structure AI, remember, it's human aware. So, Structure AI, watch this. I can go to 100%. It's going to adjust, things like the background, but that's not what I want. So, let's bring that back to 0. Let's see what Boost does. Boost is going to work on the finest of the details in the image. So Boost will give it almost like an HDR look. Again, I don't want the background to be pronounced, so let's just leave that alone. Good. Let's see, one moment. Here's a question. Julie says, do you want it to be balanced of whatever you prefer? Yes. So, and I believe she's talking about when we came down, to, which we're going to come back to, down to the super contrast. This is where I decide the balance. So here's the highlight, and now I'm balancing it between the midtones and the shadows, which I didn't do anything with them yet. So let's bump up the shadows a little bit. And now I'm going to adjust the balance until I feel right there. Look at that. There we go. And I'm not going to mess with the midtones because I think that looks good the way it is. So do you see how this image, it started out okay, but there's enough contrast in it that we could pull from it. Whereas the image over here, the contrast wasn't really there. So we really couldn't pull, from the sky to her, it just wasn't there. All right? So let's do a landscape. Okay, so here's a good example. Template. And again, notice I'm relying a lot on the templates. Good. This one was okay. Oh, I like that. Let's see what other one is suggested. Ooh, that kind of blew it out. And water, dark and rich. Okay, now, here's where we're gonna start looking at the possibilities, all right? So what I mean by that is this. The other black and white ones were a one click, we're done, move on. I'm looking at this, and I like what dark and rich just did. Look at the contrast and what it brought out in the rocks and in the water. So let's just take it one step further. From here, we'll come over to black and white, convert it with one click, done. Look at that. I mean, how cool. Now, the only reason I was able to see that was because I saw how much contrast was in that color. So I saw how much contrast that we had in color, and then from there I decided, hey, this is a great one to look good for black and white. We might as well save it, which I did earlier. Let's come over to template. And here, my templates, dark and rich. Let's rename it. And I'm going to call it dark and rich, black and white. There it is. And now I have it set. All right? So there we have it. So again, black and white photos, when we're looking at them, we have to decide, is there a lot of contrast in the image? If there is, it's a great candidate for black and white. Another option what you can do is if your camera allows it, put the camera in black and white and in RAW. Black and white, and make sure you're shooting in RAW. Go out on a photo shoot. So now you have a reference on the back of that camera on what the image is going to look like in black and white. But when you bring it into the computer, just remember it's RAW. And if you select as shot, or I'm sorry, if you bring it in, it's going to automatically strip all that black and white and put it in as a color. That's where you go back in and you select your camera profile or as shot, or I'm sorry, that's white balance. Select your camera profile and it'll come up as black and white. And now you can start from there, or my suggestion will be to let Luminar do all the conversion for you. All right? So I'm going to show you guys a real quick video. Congratulations on March 8th. It's National or Worldwide Women's Day, and we have 4 very talented women Skylum wants to recognize. They've created some killer templates for you, so let me play that for you. In honor of Women's Day, March 8th, 2021, Skylum's Marketplace will feature 4 very talented women who have created signature templates for Luminar AI. Michelle Grenier has designed 12 templates for your sports and action portraits. Nancy DeCampo has designed 10 templates for nature in the city. Kate Finity designed 12 special tones for the year. And Elena Lopez has designed 10 templates to enhance natural colors. Check them out on the Skylum Marketplace under Signature Templates. Well, that's awesome. So, and just out of curiosity, please leave a comment below and let me know if you do use templates. You know, if templates is a big part of your workflow, or do you bypass them and just go right into the editing tool? I mean, as an experienced editor, I've been doing Photoshop and editing my software for the last 20 plus years. I personally like going through the template first, and it's not because I'm being lazy. It's just that it's already going to do most of the stuff I planned on doing, and then sometimes it throws a few things in there that I didn't expect, and I thought, wow, this looks really cool. So do me a favor, please. Leave that in the comments below and let me know if you prefer to start with a template or do you prefer to just dive right in doing your editing. All right? Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And please, as always, leave suggestions for upcoming episodes you'd like to see on Coffee Break, and we'll try to put those in to the rotation. And it's always good to see what people are requesting and looking for. All right? Thank you. And I'll see you at the next Coffee Break.